Okay. Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Straight Talkin' Fedora Chic coming at you this fine afternoon between Christmas and New Year's. Yes, I survived Christmas intact, just barely. And there's New Year's and New Year's Eve to get by, which can be also sad. Anyways, for those of you, I noticed I've been getting a lot of new subscribers in the past 48 hours. I want to thank you for joining in. For those who are new and have not yet, hey, Hearts Love, thank you. So I want to thank, anyways, all new subscribers, thank you. And if you're new here, we are a social commentary / storytime channel. We focus mainly on mental health issues, but not exclusively, social issues of the day. And yes, that includes video reactions, other video reactions. So without further ado, the title is exactly as it is. Thank you, hearts. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And please hit that little ringy bell thing below so you can be notified every time I upload or go live. So today's title, Why I Traded Writing for YouTube. And the short answer is, my tarot card reader made me do it. I'm kidding, but not entirely. Not entirely. The point is, yes, many years ago, I had often been told I was a talented writer. I wrote all kinds of things. I knew how to write a business letter, clear and concise, and explaining everything. I knew how to write a story. And I knew how to write, and I was quite proficient at all, actually. So anyways, what happened was, one of my guilty pleasures, hey, we all got them. One of my guilty pleasures I ended up watching, believe it or not, was Gossip Girl. And the protagonist, or the main character, Dan Humphrey, went to the Chic exclusive Upper East Side Manhattan private school. He was kind of the outcast because he was, I guess, compared to the rest of his classmates, he was poor, but although in comparison to most people, they were actually quite well off. I mean, a single dad, he owned an art gallery in Brooklyn. And so I guess it's all about perspective. Yeah, you love her Gossip Girl too. Yeah. It was a guilty pleasure. I know, I'm old, I'm old, and it's a show geared to young people, right? And I often hate the fake and beautiness, but I always saw Gossip Girl as a spoof, as a parody of the Upper East Side, and it's quite, probably a lot of it is quite apt, with these wealthy families. They tend to be short-sighted, even with their children. It's easier to pass them the credit cards than to actually spend quality time with them. So it was a bit, an environment where the kids were the adults and the adults were the kids, the partying kids. And Gossip Girl did not disappoint on that front. Anyways, Dan Humphrey, the character, he was an aspiring writer. And in the show, he wrote a novel about his observations of the Upper East Side. And Gossip Girl was this anonymous, faceless, and we all thought was a girl because, the blog entries were written from the point of view of a girl. And we all thought that, it was assumed it was a girl. So when people were trying to guess who Gossip Girl was, they were thinking girls. But at the very last show, the finale, it was revealed that Gossip Girl was Dan Humphrey. And one of the reasons he thought of starting Gossip Girl that he mentioned was if he couldn't fit in with the folks of the Manhattan Upper East Side, he was going to at least write himself in to the Upper East Side. And of course, as I told, all the Gossip Girl entries, Dan Humphrey was always like the underdog, and usually, when we read a story or we watch a movie, I think most of us would root for the underdog, the David and Goliath thing, and if there's one thing I had in common with the character of Dan Humphrey, was I didn't fit in ever anywhere either. Whether it would have been the upper crust society. My parents were social climbers. My father sold grandma's house, okay, to get a yacht club membership. Okay, I kid you not. I wish I was. He did. And you go to the yacht club, and then sure enough, it's these kids. The parents are wealthy, and they leave the kids all day to their own devices with their credit cards and all that lovely stuff. So, I guess in a way that was my own gossip girl of the 80s, long before social media, long before blogging, right? And I was a social outcast there too. I remember, okay, one of the reasons he had wanted to join the yacht club, because he didn't like the kids I was hanging out with. We got to remember, I was not a very popular kid to begin with. But, I had one friend and her older sister, and her older sister had introduced us to cannabis. I don't know what you can say on YouTube these days. I really don't know what you can say on YouTube these days. But, so yeah, and I had taken up cigarette smoking as well, and a bunch of other things that my father frowned upon. He was a legendary high school in the area, after all, and couldn't have a family embarrassment, right? So he didn't like them. So he thought I would join nice kids at the yacht club, nice, civilized kids. Here's the thing: rich, stinking rich, not really being raised or being raised by nannies with daddy's credit card to blow at will does not make you nice, and nor does it make you civilized. And as far as the drugs were concerned, that was where I had my first dose of cocaine. It's like, there's cocaine, there's acid. Oh God, I'm mentioning these things on YouTube. Okay. All right, what's done is done. So it's like, good call, Dad. Good call. These kids just had access to more expensive drugs is all, So, back to all this to say, I really did identify with Dan Humphrey ever since, the adult female version, albeit, because like even in adulthood, I never fit in anywhere either, really. I guess it's one of the reasons why I don't function well in groups, right? So, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I never function well in groups. So, hang on, let me check something. Okay. Huh. Okay. So anyways, sorry, where was I? I'm losing my train of thought here. Hi, Supernova. Good to see you. Okay. Oh, you're cooking. Well, bon appetit. You're cooking. Well, bon appetit. Okay. So back to what I was saying, but I'll have the live on while I cook. Okay, that's cool, Supernova. Happy cooking, as the late Jacques Pepin would say, or bon appetit, as we say here up in French Canada, or as the late Julia Child would say. Where you were relating to Dan Humphrey and first experiences using. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, as I was saying, so I found, it's a character I could relate, an older female version of Dan Humphrey, several generations up. He would be Gen Z, I guess a millennial, because it's an older show. A millennial, I'm in Gen X, I'm Gen X. And the parents, though, were Gen X. The parents were always Gen X, like I said. But like I said, it was a world where children, where the kids were the adults and the adults were the kids. It was a topsy-turvy world, right? So, yeah, it was a topsy-turvy world. So that's one of the reasons, I thought about, okay, I don't fit in. And I did have memories to share, but a lot of it I was afraid to. And I wrote a play as well. I wrote a play. It was about my experience, my horrid experience with a DBT program. I did a video when I was first Fedora Hippies a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. I'm going to link that video in a pinned comment below once I jump off that stream, how I came to write a play about it. It is a fictionalized account with changing the names, but it is based on my poor experience with DBT. And based on the characters are based on the women I was actually in the group with. Yeah. So I actually wrote that. It took 4 years to write, several drafts and everything, even got a legal copyright on it. And it's been shelved. I took a lot of other writing courses. I had started a novel that is shelved. I've written a lot of short stories, both fictionalized, but based on my own life experience. What was rule number 4? Write what you know. You learn that, oh God, as early as high school English composition class. So, so that was it. And then in the 11th grade, the English teacher was also the drama teacher, and she was great. She was a lot of fun, right? So, I remember writing a play, but it was dark in nature, but very dark in nature. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I don't want this stream to go too long. So, so anyway, so it was partly, Gossip Girl with the character, the way I thought it was brilliantly written, especially if it was meant to be a parody. It was actually quite well written, to show the opulence, to show the vacuousness of everybody, The other one was a movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. Something's Gotta Give, starring Keanu Reeves, Diane Keaton, and Jack Nicholson. And for those, it's about a love triangle between the 3 actors, yeah. And the main female character, the protagonist, played by Diane Keaton, is Erica Berry, a playwright, a rather famous playwright, who has writer's block, but ends up finding not only a muse, but a lover in her daughter's ex-boyfriend, played by Jack Nicholson. And that's the other reason why I wanted to write plays. But, so that was kind of, getting inspired by TV and film, right? I guess it's got to start somewhere. So anyways, hang on. And I had a muse in my former best friend. He was my muse. He was, he was everything to me. God. Yeah. But that's another discussion for another video, which I likely will do soon. I'm starting to feel ready to do that, to talk about that falling out. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah. He was my muse. He even got me for Christmas a couple of years back as a Christmas gift. He got me a masterclass on masterclass.com with David Mamet, Glengarry Glen Ross, Oleana. Yeah. So, and it was a very interesting masterclass. And what I liked about it was you could do it from the comfort of your own home anytime you feel alert. It was one of the best gifts and most thoughtful gifts I ever received. And I will still hold to that. I will still hold fast to that. I also took writing courses. I had joined the Quebec Writers Federation, which is the English-speaking Quebec writers, mainly from Montreal. But I found most of the courses and the events, it was a lot of retired school marms, a lot of older women, even older than yours truly, yeah. And I found myself, I didn't even fit in with them, in all honesty. And they set up these events like picnics and that, but I don't fit in, It was basically retired school teachers. And I didn't fit in with them, honestly. I did not. And I'm not sure I'm going to renew my membership this year. Not sure. We'll see. The projects that I have that I started have not been thrown out. They have not been thrown out. They are still very much around. As a matter of fact, later on, towards the end of the stream, we'll be reading a nonfiction short story. One of the funnier moments of my childhood. I think we're going to trot out Sheeza F Ucker and her best poetry slam for that. Okay. This live stream is not going to be, I don't plan for it to be a very long stream anyways, but we'll see how this goes, right? Hang on. So, so I was going to, yeah. So, anyways, what I was going to say was, um, yeah. So, what I was going to say was, God, I'm losing my train of thought again. This is happening to me a lot lately, especially when I'm tired. Oh yes. Well, okay, let's get the obnoxious e-begging portion of this show out of the way. For those of you who wish to support this channel, there is a PayPal link. Thank you, Hearts, for putting up the PayPal link in the chat, and it's also in the description box of this video. Whatever proceeds that is great minds think alike, Hearts. So whatever you donate to support this channel will be reinvested into this channel. I can think of a few items I need. One is a new video editor, and the other one I need a new chair because my Archie Bunker chair is really starting to fall apart. It's like I lean back and I'm afraid the whole thing's gonna go. So I'm gonna need a new chair too. Okay. But yeah, so that's about it. So I will, as I always mention, I always continue to provide content for free. I also have a new Discord server. For those who are interested, it's still quite bare bones. We will complete, so it doesn't look pretty and artistic and artsy, but it's functional. You can still go make friends, chat with each other, seek solace and support, share in the small victories. It is an adults only Discord server. So 18 years and over only. Okay, back to the festivities. Back to the story at hand. Back to the story at hand. So, yeah, wouldn't it be? Yeah, wouldn't it be? And the Discord server is awesome, if I do say so myself. We're about 17 or 18 members strong now, which is not bad. We're not even a week into business, which is not bad at all. Not too shabby. It's fabulous. Okay, so where was I? Okay, back to what we were talking about. Yeah. So I had written a lot of stuff. I had hired editors professionally, through the Quebec, the QWF, Quebec Writers Federation, because I'm dyslexic and because also compounded by my early onset frontotemporal dementia. Like I was reading the short story I was going to read to you today, and it's like, holy smokes. I need an editor. Like there are words that are typed in there that shouldn't be in there. It's like I need a freaking editor. It shows, but yeah, because of my dyslexia, because of the because of the FTD, the frontotemporal dementia, I need editors, right? And editors cost money I don't have, and for a while, it's like I'm always on social media. Keep in mind, long before I came to YouTube, I ran a blog doing political commentary, and I had other contributors. I had a huge following. It was called Sister Sage's Musings. Hey, Wraith, great to see you. Great to see you here, Wraith. So, so as a political blogger, like I said, that was a blood sport in and of itself. And you get boot camp for trolls and troll patrol for that. So that's what I did. So that's what I did. The now defunct Sister Sage's Musings. I don't have the energy or the stamina to commit to a political blog. So it's likely I'm not going to do it again. I don't think so. I keep saying I'm going to resurrect it and I'm going to bring back Sister Sage's Musings. I never do. But, basically, especially since I have been quite ill, it's getting more and more difficult to go out because I'm tired all the time and I'm in pain all the time. So it's gotten to a point where most of the time my groceries, I have them delivered in. So I let alone concentrate on writing. And I was frustrated with editors. Literally trying to rewrite my work in a way that they saw fit. Like I thought editors were only supposed to correct the grammar, maybe give a few suggestions to add, subtract, so on and so forth, but not rewrite the whole thing. Not to change the context at all. It happened when they were editing my play. It happened when some short stories were being edited for a contest because I was trying to prepare to enter them into contests. And some I did enter into contests, didn't win. Did not win, right? But yeah, did not win. But yeah, that was it. But then come the early 2019. Yeah, around this time last year, early 2019. I usually get a tarot card reading, a general one, like sort of to gauge how my year will be. That's okay if you don't subscribe to that. Astrology, tarot, um, mediumship. It's okay if you don't subscribe to that. You don't have to. But anyways, yeah, I had a general reading beginning of the year from my tarot reader. And it was something, she said something to me that deep down I already knew. And this was long before my former muse slash friend had left, had ghosted out of my life. Right. But back then in early 2019, the tarot reader said something that I already knew way deep down. I spend a lot of time online. I spend most of my time online. I spend most of my time on social media. I had already started this channel when under the name Fedora Hippies in 2018. I uploaded a few videos, and then I had broken my teeth, and that resulted in me having surgery, having the rest of my upper teeth removed. Yes, those upper teeth are fake, kids. I invite you to check my video, Onision Teaches Me How to Brush My Teeth. Okay. I will link that one in a pinned comment below when I get off this stream. Yeah, that one. Onision Teaches Me How to Brush My Teeth, and it confirms more that I wear dentures. But back to what I was saying. So anyways, the tarot reader had said that if I was going to be, hello, Willem, Rare Movies and TV Lover. Good to have you here. I believe you're new. Okay, I'm going to call you TV Lover if that's okay. Okay, for short, I'm going to call you TV Lover. Ah, yes. Thank you, Heart's Love. Thank you, Heart's Love. So, so what I'm going to, so that's what it is. So she said that, whatever success I have or not, she said it was going to be all online. I was already online most of the time. I had a blog before that was online. I'm on social media all the time, and it's true, I'm glued to it. Let's just say, I think I'm like most. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's what most of us have, right? And we have I think that's a fair assessment, honestly. It's a love-hate relationship. So she said it was going to be online. I had asked her if I had a shot at my play getting put on stage, or at least in front of for a dramatic reading, or to be workshopped, or any writing to be published, or any writing contest be won. She said, well, there is a chance, but she said your biggest success will be online. She says, that's not to say, she told me also, she made it clear, don't give up your writing, though. You never know. She said, don't give up your writing. But I had noticed as my health declines and the more tired I am, and the FTD, it's always in the conscience, it progresses, that I lose entirely all cognitive function. I won't have time because I got to find money for editors and this, that, and the other thing. And I don't feel inspired anymore since, I was ghosted, Ah, okay. You're from Journey to Find K, TV Lover. Cool. Journey to Find K is a friend of this channel. She's a great friend of this channel. Awesome. So I was, it was, so it was. Thank you, Supernova. Yes, please leave a thumbs up on the way out the door. Yes. So back to what I was saying. I keep losing track. Yeah. Cool. I keep losing track, I swear. I always get sidetracked. It's part of dyslexia, part of FTD, part of a lot of things. But yeah, it's like basically what I wanted, and it's caught in the video I uploaded a while back called Why I Rarely Leave My Home. And one of the things that I go through a lot of the time is people always talk over me. And that was why another reason why I'd taken to writing. People always talk over me. Even when they ask me a question, they expect me to answer the question. As soon as I answer the question or try to answer the question, they talk over me. And it annoys me. It makes me, it drives my anxiety to no end. So that's one of the reasons, I started writing. But then, and then I went to YouTube in 2018. But like I said, I had to quit YouTube because I had to have, I had to have my upper teeth removed. And then I had to get used to a new way of eating and a new way of talking. And then I got a denture. And once again, I had to get used to a new way of eating and a new way of talking and a new way of doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, it is frustrating. So I had given up YouTube, and I thought I was never going to come back to YouTube. And it was in the days when the channel was called Fedora Hippies. But, so by the time, fast forward again back to 2019 and that tarot reader, I had not uploaded a video at Fedora Hippies in a dog's age. It had been almost a year. And she had said, you did upload some YouTube videos a while back. And I said, oh, those? At a time, I had no idea how to edit videos. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. She says, no, they were pretty good videos. Yeah, the editing was a bit, choppy, but it's only learning. Why don't you go back to doing YouTube? And it's like, I had played with the idea, honestly, going back to YouTube. She says, look, you have stories to tell. You have opinions to express. You're not only committed to political issues, but you're very committed to social issues of the day. And you have a lot to talk about. And she said, I think people, if they actually gave you the chance, they would find what you have to say interesting. They would be pleasantly surprised. Said, why don't you go back to doing YouTube? And I thought, yeah, okay, let's try it out for a bit. So I came back in February 2019 to YouTube. And I had, and that's when I wrote also the last set of short stories, nonfiction shorts based on events in my childhood, right? So, okay, we'll give it another shot. So I came back, and for those who don't know, Fedora Hippies was supposed to be exclusively pretty much a mental health channel. Yeah, it was pretty niche, it was supposed to be a mental health channel, but the way to bring awareness, it was like to show an ordinary face, because usually these mental health weeks and these mental health awareness, who do they trot out? Celebrities. Why? Not because they're relatable necessarily, but people worship celebrities, thick and thin, faults and all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They worship celebrities. But I thought, the best way to put my voice forward at the time of Fedora Hippies was to have an ordinary plain Jane face like mine do it. A smart ass in a hat, if you will, have a smart ass in a hat. And that would be the gimmick. I mean, I've been wearing hats all the time since age 15. So the gimmick would be, wear hats on camera. So when I did come back to YouTube in 2019, it's like, I know, like the gurus advise, stay niche, be niche. But I had also noticed that the algorithm was not favoring, niche channels in mental health and nor in addiction and recovery. And I do want to talk about stories. I do want to raise awareness, but there are other social issues I raise awareness. It's not for nothing in my channel art when you go to my page, social commentary from a marginalized Gen Xer, because I am marginalized, I own it. And I guess my target audience is other marginalized people. And what I mean by that, people who are stereotyped, people who are left out, people who don't fit in, either because of chronic illness, mental health issues, addiction and recovery, recovery from addiction, having a disability, or just being, just whatever reason you can't conform to the norm, or at least the norms that societal norms that society demands, and, so the goal of the channel, and that's okay. So I had spread it, so I did. So now I'm more or less a variety channel. I also react to videos. Other people's videos if they, so that's what I do. I talk about, I talk about societal injustice, basically, so that's what I decided to do. And I think I paid a price there, because this channel has been ever so slow in growing. It says 2009. The moment I started re-uploading again in 2019, And that's when I decided to rebrand as Straight Talk and Fedora Chick. You see, Fedora Hippies was not my choice of a name. I was originally starting that channel with Natasha. Natasha was supposed to do that channel with me, but she didn't because she decided to pursue other opportunities with stand-up comic. You know, that happens. And so she decided not to do it anymore. And Fedora Hippies was her idea. The name Fedora Hippies was her idea because I originally wanted to call us the Fedora Chicks. But she didn't like the idea of being called a chick, something like some feminist reason anyway. Let's remember, I'm not exactly a feminist. I'm quite disillusioned with the feminist movement of today, you know. Yeah, no, Natasha's great. Don't get me wrong, you know. But, you know, so I think a lot of women get trapped in a lot of the feminist memes. And do they stop and think what that means or whatever? I'm going to be doing a video somewhere down the road, probably well into 2020, not now, but probably well into 2020 as to why I'm disillusioned with feminism today. So I'm not going to dwell on that much today. I'm not going to dwell on that too much today. But it's going to be well into 2020. Yeah. So yeah, why I'm disillusioned with feminism. Yeah, I am still left of center politically. Everybody thinks it's only the right that's anti-feminist, but you know, I'm actually left of center politically. You know, always have been left of center. Always have been left of center. And always will be. But like I said, another video well into 2020, that's down the pipe. So, but for right now, you know, I noticed like right now I've been really doing a lot of reaction videos, you know, but, you know, why not, you know, because part of what I do is hold people to account. But back to what I was saying. So that's why we were called the Fedora Hippies for Natasha. But I figured when I came back in 2019 and tried to stage a YouTube comeback, at that time, the channel only had 9 subscribers and maybe about, oh God, maybe about 5 or 6 videos, maybe at best. 5 or 6 videos tops. Anyways, I decided to change the name to Straight Talk and Fedora Chick. I don't mind being called a chick. You know, it's like straight talking because I talk straight, I wear fedoras, and I'm a chick. So Straight Talk and Fedora Chick it became. You get straight talk from me, right? Nothing but straight talk. So that's cool, you know. So that's cool. So that's why largely, you know, I had traded in, you know, the writing projects are collecting dust somewhere. And for a while I did feel bad about not approaching them, but you know, as certain things happened to me this year that were life-changing and not for the great. Yeah, no sugarcoating around here, hearts love. That's right. No sugarcoating around here. You know, I'm not a Pollyanna. You know, I'm sure there are plenty of Pollyanna channels. I ain't one of them. But I think, you know, the people who have come here to subscribe to me or people who come to watch me regularly, they're not expecting me to be Pollyanna positive, you know. They're not expecting me to be. They know that it's not me. It's not my experience, you know. They come to hear it like it is, I think, you know. That's my opinion. But if you know, if you have a different reason you disagree with me, I will invite you to put that in the live chat right now. Or when I jump off the stream, you put it in my comment section. My comment section is always open, right? So that's cool. So anyways, for a while I was also thinking, you know, it's like the writing, you know, I got to get something published. I got to win a contest. Because it's also part of the bad reasoning because I need to fit in, you know, it's like, I wanted to make my former friend, my muse, and my mother proud of me for something, you know, I wanted to make them proud of me for something, but they never will be. And so in a way, I'm kind of relieved I decided to shelve them. The pressure is off at this time. You know, the pressure is off at this time. So I'm kind of relieved. I'm kind of relieved to hear that. That I did that. Will I ever revisit my writing? Never say never. At this time, it doesn't look like I will. You know, and as for the masterclass, I have lifetime access to it. And I find that David Mamet, in addition to teaching writing and giving writing exercises, I think his masterclass also taught me stuff that helps me with my YouTube. So, it's not a waste. It's never a waste. I think it's helped me with YouTube, in a lot of ways, the way the class, the way he did the class or the way he presented himself, on camera. Yeah, so it honestly helped me with YouTube, in my opinion. So it's not completely a waste at all. And I still consult it today. I still consult because it's a lifetime access, right? And I still consult it today. I still contend it's probably the most meaningful gift I ever received. And I still contend it was the best, or most meaningful gift I ever received at Christmas or on a birthday. So I'll still hold fast to that. But, right now no pressures. My health isn't great, like I said, these days, to the point where I can't really get out much anymore, and as that tarot card reader told me, your successes are going to be online. And here's another thing, even if I poured myself full stop into my writing, I like full into my writing. And even if I won a contest or two, one of the prizes, you get published in a literary magazine. You got to think, who reads literary magazines anymore except for maybe university professors and other writers, right? That's not a bad thing, but you want to appeal to, you want a broader audience, I guess. And there is no guarantee that, like even if I worked on the novel, there's no guarantee it'll be published. No guarantee my short stories will be published. No guarantees that my play will be produced on a stage. And that was always my dream, for that play to be put on a stage. But, it's funny, priorities change, as your health change, as your life situation, priorities change because of your health. Certain things that might have seemed realistic a few years ago are really out of the question now, So like I said, so it's like my stories. What if nobody reads them? Commentary. What if nobody reads them? Unless I do another blog, and I don't want to do another blog. Believe it or not, maintaining a blog site is more difficult and more pressure, because at least YouTube is free to create content. You don't have to pay to create content on YouTube. You do have to pay for a website to host your blogs, right? You do have to pay. Thank you, Race Phoenix, for putting up our Discord server. Excellent. Yes, once again, for those who are just joining in, we have a Discord server now. It is still it's nothing fancy. It's still very much a work in progress, but it is functional. We are now 17 members strong. Yay. Yay. We are now, it's been about a week, almost a week now. We've had it up, and 17 members strong and growing. Oh, thank you, Supernova. That was the goal. That's the intended goal. Unlike other Discord servers, mine is for adults only, 18 years and up. One of the reasons I had made it that way, I'd always wanted a Discord server for adults only, because in another server, I'm not bashing it or anything like that, because I did find them helpful, and I did grow my channel through a lot of those members, and I will always appreciate it. But the problem with it was, one of the problems with it was that I had was like, I'd be feeling crappy and like the whole world is gone and everything. And the only one to greet me is a 15-year-old, the only one to greet me on that server is a 15-year-old. And it's like, I'm old enough to be your grandmother. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. That ain't. So I wanted a server that is for older people, meant to, for older people. Yes, you can promote your YouTube videos. You can promote your writing. You can promote your artwork at my Discord server as well. Feel free to do so. I have pages for that on my server. Thank you. Thank you, Supernova. Wraith Phoenix, I couldn't have done it without her. We were working in the wee hours of the night to set it up, because I'm so not tech savvy, right? So Wraith Phoenix gave me a hand with all the tech stuff. So, so a big mad props to her. To Wraith Phoenix. But yeah, getting sidetracked again. Where was I? Can somebody tell me where I was before we started talking about Discord? Where was I? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so no guarantee that the play would be produced. Don't guarantee anyone would see it. No guarantee, unless you're blogging, like I said. There's no, unless you're blogging and you have a site that you're paying for, and you have to commit to that, so it's more pressure. Like I said, YouTube, it's free to create content. And there's one thing that was always on my bucket list, especially when I found out I first had frontotemporal dementia, was that while I still could cognitively function, cognitively speaking, is I want my stories to be told. I want my opinions to be heard. I want to express my opinions. I want to be able to do it at ease without being talked over. I want it to, without being talked over, and get it through across. And I always knew that if I had the audience, and I found the audience, which I do, and I have my little community for which I am grateful. If I have my own little audience, they can't talk over me unless they yell at their computer screen or at their phone. They might find what I have to say interesting, or they might find my story time interesting, right? So I feel with YouTube, even with a Patreon account later down the line, even, which I plan to have a Patreon later down the line, I would like to get above a certain number of subscribers first before that happens. Oh, again, I'm getting sidetracked. Speaking of subscribers, I'm at 184, 185 subscribers now. Thank you so much. Tall order for this goal, considering New Year's Eve is less than a week from now. I would like to get up to 200 subscribers by New Year's Eve. That would be, consider it a belated Christmas wish, if you will. Yeah. So, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Okay, straight talking Fedora chick. But yeah, so I figured, back to what I was saying. So, the writing, there's no guarantee it's going to be published. And even then, it's no guarantee it's going to be sold. Even if my play gets up off the ground at some community theater, again, there's no guarantee it's going to be seen or see the light of day, or the intent. But with YouTube, I can be heard, I can be said, even long after the inevitable happens. Oh, okay, hearts love. Okay, that's not a problem. So I figure. So what was I saying? So I figure more people see it even long after, let's say, I'm no longer capable of doing YouTube videos, either because one of my illnesses progresses or I further lose cognitive function due to the FTD, due to the dementia. My videos will remain up unless, YouTube goes savage and they take them all down. But, but overall, the videos will live on. People will hear about me and hear about my stories. So, yeah, that's basically the story of why I traded in writing for YouTube. Yay. I know people might think it's a step down. I don't. I think it's a step up when you think about it. I think it is a total step up. So, as promised, I'm going to be reading a short story. It's a funny incident. It's about a funny incident that happened when I was 6, when I was living at grandma's. We're going to have Sheeza F Ucker come in and read it, though. Yeah, because I think it would be more fun if Sheeza F Ucker does it in her poetry slam style. But before we get to that, let's conclude if you wish to support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below. Whatever proceeds, I'm not monetized here, and whatever the proceeds, it will be reinvested in this channel. The first thing I'm getting is a new video editor, so I can go back to doing those fun voiceover videos that my audience loves so much, and I aim to deliver, right? So that concludes the obnoxious e-begging portion of this show. But yeah, so before I'm going to turn it over to you folks, viewers in the chat, in the live chat. Are there any questions you have before we do? Thank you, Hearts Love, for putting up the PayPal link. So do any of you have any questions before I go on with the reading, before I bring out Sheeza F Ucker to read the short story? Any questions? Yeah, feel free. There are no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. Feel free to ask. Okay, I guess without further ado, I'm going to step out and we're going to bring in Sheeza F Ucker. Okay? Sheeza F Ucker is going to read the short story. Hello, all. Sheeza F Ucker in the house. And I'm going to be reading a short story based on a true story from Chic, the straight talking Fedora chick's childhood from when she was 6 years old living with her grandmother. And it will be a peach, I promise you, and I will do it in my best poetry slam. Yes. Here we go. So it's called The Night Mrs. S. I'm not going to use her real name because she's still the lady in question is still very much alive. And she's still living in that house. So we don't want to dox her. The night Mrs. S interrupted the Lawrence Welk Show by CK. Already I feel like crying. Oh no. Who could interrupt a poor lonely old lady's Lawrence Welk? Anyways, here we go. Late one Saturday night, I was bored. Grandma put my brother to sleep several hours before. I was supposed to be asleep in the pink room, but I managed to slip downstairs instead. Grandma was in the TV room watching the Lawrence Welk Show. This was always non-negotiable. TV on Saturday nights was monopolized by Grandma for both the Lawrence Welk Show and the Tommy Hunter Show. The living room was most certainly not for living. No, no, no. There was a stereo dating back to the 1950s, which miraculously still worked. It was also the most modern piece of furniture in the room by the time the 1970s rolled around. Dusty pink satin-like couch and chair sets with feet and little skirts covering them, showing their age, along with a pair of 200-year-old wooden chairs no one was allowed to sit in since Opa Ben broke one of them. Miraculously, Grandma managed to get it fixed. In the far corner across the living room window was some ancient wooden armoire filled with ancient porcelain figurines that no one was even allowed to breathe on, let alone touch. Yes, they would smash to smithereens if you breathed on it. I remember when I broke one of them, it drove her to hyperventilate. Once recovered, she chased me around the house with her antique silver hairbrush. There was, of course, the piano that also showed its age and badly need tuning. The white keys were yellow, no doubt because of all the smoking that took place in that room. The piano where my mother took lessons on when she was just a child. And subsequently, my mother taught me how to play. By the way, I forget. I don't remember how to play piano anymore. But yeah. Okay, back to this prose. There was no TV that was upstairs in the TV room. This was no living room. It was a Victorian-era sitting parlor. The only thing missing was a velvet rope across the entrance. She even had heavy, dusty pink curtains matching the upholstery of the Victorian couch and chair set. Underneath those curtains were some cumbersome Venetian blinds. Everything had to look good for her church ladies' auxiliary and bridge friends, after all. Yes, that was life. Church, ladies' auxiliary, and bridge. I fought with the curtains and the blinds to look out the window into the night. Nothing really interesting. Just the same cookie-cutter homes, with the only difference between them was color schemes. Even the landscaping on the front yards all looked identical. Manicured green lawns everywhere. I kept wondering what to do. I didn't want to look at my picture books or play with a puzzle. The other kids in the neighborhood were no doubt at home asleep. I had no idea where my parents were, nor did I miss them. Grandma would point out at every turn how bad my parents were for us. She hated everything about Dad. She thought his Rolling Stones albums were music of the devil and were corrupting my brother and me. Perish the thought. It's another reason why I was not upstairs. She would have made me watch the Lawrence Welk or Tommy Hunter with her. probably in an effort to get the Rolling Stones or Cream out of my fragile brain. She hated everything about my father, his friends, the way he dressed, his taste in music, his political leanings, which were a little too socially liberal for her. I never engaged her in conversation about this. I didn't much care for Dad either at the time, but for completely different reasons. Ah, some action finally came across the street. Mrs. S, who lived across the street, arrived at her doorstep with a new boyfriend. Of course she was. Mrs. S always had a new man to escort her to and from home. As a Jewish divorcee, Mrs. S was always a misfit for the longest time in a neighborhood of mainly Scottish and Irish Catholics who took till death do them part, literally. Yeah, not a bad ideal. Most in the neighborhood were devout attendees of St. Monica's Church, just a 5-minute walk away from this subdivision. Mrs. S was always interesting. Slim, with short hair dyed a different color almost as often as she changed male suitors. She dressed differently than the other women of the neighborhood. She wore pants, boys and girls. She even wore blue jeans. Yeah. Often I had questions like, where is her husband? Why does she live alone like that in that big house? Why does she live alone? No one would ever answer. The answer was always a quick, we'll tell you when we're older. The standard answer given by adults to children when they were clearly stumped. I watched Mrs. S and her new boyfriend taking what seemed to forever to say goodnight to each other. Come to think of it, they were probably arguing over who looks prettier. Okay, back to the story. They were getting all touchy-feely, another oddity in the neighborhood, as no other adults living in the area ever showed any affection of any kind to each other out in public. So it was an unusual sighting. At least to me, it was at the time. Things were starting to get more interesting. They held each other closer and for a long time, much longer than any parent or relative would hug a child typically. I remember thinking they must really love each other. Oops. What was happening? All of a sudden, Mrs. S's face was no longer visible. The man appeared to have had his large, open mouth covering it. Next, all I saw was the back of the man's bald spot. I kept looking, fascinated but scared all the time, as a 6-year-old being raised largely in part by a devout Catholic grandmother who was quite puritanical. I had no idea what NECKING was. Why was that man hurting Mrs. S, I thought. I wanted to call Grandma, but the words didn't come out for the first few seconds. I found my bearing in no time. Grandma! Grandma! I called out toward the stairs. Grandma! I screamed louder. She couldn't hear me. She was all the way upstairs in the TV room, which faced the backyard. No doubt she was trying to imitate the hand gestures of Lawrence Welk. I ran upstairs. Grandma! She heard me and emerged from the room worried. Come see! Out the window, I cried out. What? Grandma answered. There's a man hurting Mrs. S. I was getting breathless and anxious. I led Grandma into the pink room with which faces the front, which gave us an overhead view of Mrs. S's face being swallowed up by her flavor of the month. My grandmother looked a few seconds with her mouth wide open. She then physically pushed me away from the window and turned me around so my back would be facing the window. She closed the blinds and the curtains with a flourish and then told me to get on my knees besides the well-made pink bed. Repeat after me. Our Father. Wait, what? Why were we praying? We said our bedtime prayers earlier. She continued to coax me into praying nonetheless. I kept asking why, but she did not answer me except to say that Mrs. S was not a good woman, that she did not attend church. And she was the only one in the neighborhood who did not attend church. What she was doing with her boyfriend on her front steps in the dark was, it was a sin. Oh my, it was a sin. You can't look at that. Understand? She asked. I didn't answer. I did not understand. I felt like I did something terrible all of a sudden, but didn't know what it was. All I did was look out the window. Now Grandma stopped watching her musical hero to get me to pray with her. Nothing, but nothing ever interrupted the Lawrence Welk Show in the world according to Grandma. I wondered if she was simply angry because Mrs. S interrupted the band leader. The end. The end. So, that's the short story, kids. Now, snapping fingers. LOL. Glad you liked it, Hearts and Ray. Jan's reviews. Hello, Jan. Good afternoon. It was a short story that short story I read. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very much. So, can't see through those glasses. Okay. Okay, I'm still in my Sheeza F Ucker garb. Yes. Thank you, Ray Phoenix. Thank you. I don't know what was better, the actual short story draft or Sheeza F Ucker's reading it in her poetry, in her very bad, obnoxious poetry slam. Oh, you can decide that yourself. So you can put that in the comment. You can put that in the chat now, or you can put it in the comments section below when I jump off the stream. Yes, I have other work, but I'm not going to read them today. I've already been on for almost an hour, so I'm not going to be on that much longer. Yay! Okay, so anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions or a comment? There are no stupid questions here, and comments are welcome. I love it. That was nice. I would love to read more. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any more read alouds today. Though I only wanted to read the one, and I chose one that was lighter in topic because lighter in theme, because the other short stories are pretty dark in comparison. Like I said, for those who don't know, on Sunday, December 29th was the day my father passed away in 2013. So this Sunday, the 29th, it will be the 6-year anniversary of his passing. And I'm going to be talking about my father. It will be a sort of memoriam to my father in a live stream this Sunday. I'm not sure what time yet. I will get back to you with those details. It's something I feel ready finally to talk about, you know? So I'm going to be talking about, hi, Daphne. Good to see you. Great to see you, Daphne. Yeah. What I will do when I jump off this stream, I will also timestamp where I start to read where Sheeza F Ucker reads the story for those who missed it, and if they don't want to have the other first half, so I'll timestamp that later as well. Yeah, so Sunday, like I said, Sunday the 29th, it will be in memory of my father, who passed exactly between Christmas and New Year's of 2013. And I'm going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the weird dynamic that it was, but I feel ready to do that now. And I feel a need to do so. I just feel a need to do so. Like, I don't want to explain it right now, but yeah. Yes. Well, you're always invited here, Daphne. Like everybody else is. You're always invited. Everybody's invited. It's cool, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. So does anybody have any questions they want to ask me, or any comments? Any last comments? Like I said, no stupid questions here. There are stupid people, but there are no stupid questions here. The Discord is great too. If anyone wants to join, link is in the description. Thank you for passing the Discord link. Yes, Daphne and everybody else who are new here who just jumped in. I have my own Discord server. Yay. This Discord server will be quite different, okay? In the sense that there will be no kids because all our rooms are for 18 and up only. 18 and up only, okay? It's an adults only Discord. I don't think there are nearly enough of those, adults only Discord. So mine is an adults only Discord where we are peer-to-peer support, no judgment, have fun, share in the sorrow, share in the solace, or celebrate the victories, however small or large. I've already started building quite a little community. It hasn't been a week. We're already 17 members strong. Isn't that cool? Isn't that awesome? Yeah. So Daphne, if you haven't joined my Discord server, I hope you consider joining. The link is Wraith Phoenix has the link just above there. I hope and anyone else who's new, I hope you consider joining our Discord if you haven't already. I really do. It is still a work in progress, but it's still it is fully functional. You can all chat with each other, make friends. It's all cool. Hey, it's all cool. Yeah, exactly, Hearts Love. Exactly. Yeah, Daphne, I really hope. No, Jan, mine is going to be 18 and up only. No, mine is going to be 18 and up only, okay? I had an experience where I needed to talk to somebody and the only one person available was 15. Since I'm old enough to be that kid's grandma, it really didn't work for me. It really did not work for me. So, but anyways, it's like, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not trashing anybody. It's not my goal at all. I'm not meant to throw shade or competition. It's just, that's how it is. I had always intended to create my own Discord server for 18 and up only. So it's for adults only. Okay. Boys and girls, it's for adults only. And there's also pages where you can promote your artwork, promote your YouTube videos. You can promote your writing or your blog. There's a venting corner, there's voice chat, general chat, and a bunch of lovely stuff. So come and join. Nothing, they say nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So, yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I know. YouTube doesn't like it when we smoke on camera. Go figure. But if I didn't smoke, I'd weigh 500 pounds. Ugh, hate wearing a denture. Okay. So anyways, like I said, so Sunday will be a memorial to my father. Am I going to be uploading anything later tonight or tomorrow? I'm not sure yet. Just for shites and giggles. I don't know. I might do a cringe compilation reaction video type of thing. I might do a cringe reaction, kind of like what Negs does, but in my way only, Yeah, so we'll see. Anyways, if you have video topics, anything you want me to talk about, or if there is something on YouTube you'd like me to react to or whatever, please feel free to leave it in the chat while I'm still here, or you can put it in my comment section and I will take a look. Or you, thank you, hearts. Thank you, hearts. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so we will be talking. So if you have a video suggestion or anything else, please leave it in the comments section below. When I jump off the stream. And sorry. Sorry, some people have a talent to throw me off like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Anyways. Oh, thank you, Daphne. Thank you. I don't know. I when I saw his video where the first one he did, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Hearts Love. When I saw Nick's stream, I saw a vulnerability to him. I knew, like, I felt like, I mean, I know he probably has a lot of friends, probably has a support system, but if I can impart my wisdom and I help just one person, I mean, it turned out Nick did read my letter. Not read my letter. He saw my video, and he did leave a nice comment below, which I'm, but if I helped anyone else with my open letter who is struggling with addiction, if anybody is struggling with addiction, if anybody, if I helped one person, then that video, the open letter to Nick Snyder, accomplished its goal and then some. So yeah, I'm glad if it helped anybody out there. And if it continues to help anybody out there, then I am very glad that it can. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to have all the answers when it comes to addiction, because it's a whole different kind of beast, and and it's not a cookie cutter. There is no cookie cutter solution forever. There's no one size fits all measure. And what worked for me may not necessarily work for Nick or for Jexy of According to Jexy, and so on and so forth, or anyone here in this live stream, or anyone here for that matter. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not feeling great all of a sudden. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So but thank you, Daphne and Hearts, for the video, and I'm glad you enjoyed this stream, Hearts Love. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Okay, look, if there's no more questions or anything, like I said, there are no stupid questions. You can put them in my comment section. My comment section is wide open. Definitely I will be on Sunday talking about my father. And tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I might do a cringe compilation for shites and giggles. Something in the spirit of Negs, of Negative Reactions channel. Yeah. So I'm going to, I'm sorry about that earlier. I just don't feel like arguing with anybody this afternoon. I just don't feel like arguing with anybody today. I just don't have the energy for it. So thank you, Hearts Love. I just don't feel like arguing with anyone today. I mean, I don't know. A couple of weeks ago, I might have gotten into it right on screen, but I'm not up to it today. Not up to arguing today. So anyways, I'm going to jump off this stream right now and leave a comment in the comment section. Please feel free to join the Discord server. Discord server link is in the description box. If you wish to support this channel, yes, once again, the obnoxious e-begging portion of this stream. Whoa, almost knocked my lamps over. Yes. Yeah. And thank you, Hearts, Love, and Wraith Phoenix. Thank you, Daphne. I appreciate you all. So anyways, the obnoxious begging portion of this show. If you wish to support this channel, I do need a new video editor. Any proceeds will go to directly back into my channel. Back in my channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box. So in the pinned comment below, once I jump off this stream, there will be how DBT inspired me to write a play. And I think there were a few other videos I was going to put up. I forgot, but you feel free to remind me. If I mentioned I was supposed to put something up in the pinned comment, feel free to remind me in the comment section. Like I said, my short-term memory is really, really crappy these days. Yeah, thank you, Hearts Love, for putting up the PayPal link. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, I wish you all well. And I will catch you all in the next one. Remember, if there is somebody in your midst who is at risk or alone this holiday season or any time of the year, please take the time to share a meal, share a coffee with them, or just lend a sympathetic ear. It can make all the difference in the world. And just because the internet is a toxic place, you know, we can still do good. We can still do some good here. So without further ado, take care of yourselves and each other. Straight talking Fedora Chic over and out. And feel free, please, to leave a thumbs up on the way out the door. Leave a thumbs up on the way out the door. And I will catch you all in the next one. Straight talking Fedora Chic over and out.